Like the
soft one?
Exactly. Okay. What I was explaining was when you're in HyperKeys and you push G, it's going to global. It's going to global one stroke. That's it. So go into a job that you have and do it. Get into HyperKeys, put your hands on your home key, and push G. Yeah, you know, just anywhere. You push G. Holy crap. Oh, okay. Y'all see what it did?
I'm paying attention.
Okay. I want y'all to go into something. Do you have your
I have something, but it's on my notepad, but it's like from this thing.
I'm working on my quiz.
You know what? I mean, you really don't even need to go into a job. I apologize for that. Go back into the lesson. It'll let you do it in the lesson. It'll let you do it in the lesson. I forgot. I apologize. So go into the lesson. Put your cursor just on a word. Make sure that it's in HyperKeys, which is the big cursor, not the skinny one, the big one, and push G.
Jeez. Those have come up with a bunch of words.
You have to be in
Are you in HyperKeys? Well, and you may have put it on a word. Check to the side and see what the stroke is for all of that. Is it a bunch of strokes? Or is it just one stroke? Just kind of escape and go up to another word.
I think I did the exact same thing you did.
Okay. Well, if you see right here, that was their one stroke for that, I guess. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know where they came up with that, but I don't know if it's even right, whatever. It doesn't really matter for what I'm trying to explain to you, because you put it on a word, you want to define that word, maybe it's 3 strokes, you have no idea or you forgot, and you push G to global it, it's only going to global one stroke. So if you keep pushing G, the first G is going to bring up this box, the next G is going to be in this box because it's saying you want to start spelling the word. So once this box comes up, it thinks that you want to start spelling the word. So that's why they give you those in HyperKeys of the Alt 7, 8, 9, 10, or 0, because it gives you the multi-scans on those numbers. Make sense? Okay. But if not, and it's only one stroke, which most of the time it's going to be one stroke, you know, because a lot of times it is. It's going to be one stroke, and that's fine. But sometimes it's multi-stroke. You know, if you're trying to write arthroscopic, you know, and you didn't have a brief for it, which if you did, holy cow. But, you know, if you did, you did. But if you didn't, arthroscopic, it's going to be 4 strokes. So you're going to need 4 strokes. What's a shortcut in HyperKeys for 4 strokes? Anyone? That's correct. Alt 9. Okay, that's what it is. That's why they give you the different alts. On the 7, 8, 9, 7 is 2, 8 is 3, 9 is 4, 0 is 5. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Let's move along. Are y'all asleep? Y'all okay?
Asleep, yes.
All right. Right here it's just kind of telling you about the strokes. That's what I just went over.
How do you say what your steno means? Total Eclipse lets you global at a glance. Glance at the list, pick the choice. It's that easy. Choice. It's that easy. Ordinary CAT systems may try to use a basic phonetics table and the spelling dictionary to try to guess what you're globaling. This approach is typically not very successful and easily produces nonsense suggestions that only wind up adding steps to the globaling process. In contrast, Total Eclipse Global Magic is a sophisticated blend of several powerful tools. It's amazingly accurate and it requires no extra steps. Here, with one button, I've marked 4 steno strokes for a global replacement. Eclipse automatically generates a short list of suggestions using intelligent phonetics. No need to type or press the Alt key or scroll or use the mouse. Glance at the list, press 1, then either press Enter or place this in any dictionary I need. Total Eclipse understands it's easy to drag or drop keys when you're writing complicated steno like vancomycin. A glance at the list, the right choice jumps out at me. Choice 1. I won't put this in a dictionary, but I'll just apply it to the rest of the job. So your steno doesn't have to be perfect to take advantage of global magic. This time I dragged in the number bar. Total Eclipse understands choice 1 and enter. Total Eclipse understands steno stacking. Choice 1, the suffix s followed by you have. We'll see it applied with intelligent spelling adjustments. How many times do you retype text as you're defining different ways of writing new names or terms in a job? Here I have a job dictionary entry for Tetra Technologies. The next time I wrote it, it's stacked with the period. No problem. Total Eclipse understands steno stacking. Choice 2, and it automatically offers to place this capitalized text in the job dictionary. Enter. Most of the time you'll probably find that the suggestion you need is at the top of the list. But if Eclipse has not guessed properly, just start typing. No additional steps are needed to make the glance list disappear. A quick note, a little tweaking of your phonetics table can really help Total Eclipse tune in to your writing style. Although Global Magic combines many sophisticated features, it's easy to use, even for editing from the steno keyboard. It can help you to quickly read your steno, greatly reduce your typing, and the more you use it, the better it gets.
A lot of information in there, guys. I'm gonna go over it kind of again and just kind of show you some highlights.
How do you say typically not very successful and able and the spelling dictionary to try to guess what you're globaling? This approach is typically not very...
And I think I told you guys, on the Global Magic, it's gonna kind of give you ideas of what it thinks. The more you start using it, the more it starts understanding how you write, or it's gonna guess how you write. So, here they're trying to write Parkinsonian, whatever, and this is the different options that it's going to give you.
Successful, and
it doesn't know exactly what you're trying to do unless you've already stroked it once. If you've already stroked it out once, then it's going to know. And it still may give you some options like, well, maybe
guess what you're globaling.
Maybe when you stroked it out, you left the E out of Parkinson Yun. It doesn't know that. It knows the one time that you did it, you put it with the E. So one letter can throw it off. But it kind of knows what, it's almost going to know what you meant to stroke. So it's going to probably give you that option. 99% of the time, it's going to give you that option that you just did. But it's going to give you more options of what it thought maybe you were trying to do. Make sense?
Approach is typically not very successful and easily...
So it's going to give you, 8 different things because maybe you left out one letter. Or maybe you left out one letter in 2 strokes out of the 4 strokes. Then it's really going to kind of throw it off, and then it's going to give you different ideas of maybe something totally different, but it's still going to give you probably 99% of the time the one that you just globaled correctly. Okay?
Produces nonsense suggestions that only wind up adding steps to the globaling process. In contrast, Total Eclipse Global Magic is a sophisticated blend of several powerful tools. It's amazingly accurate, and it requires no extra steps. Here, with one button, I've marked 4 steno strokes for a global replacement. Eclipse automatically generates a short list of suggestions.
So once you global this, and maybe you've done it once before, so it should be in your auto magic keys, but if for some reason it's not and it left it out and you global it, maybe it may know what you're trying to put in there. So then it's going to give you the suggestions right here of what it thinks that you were trying to write. Okay? All you do is press 1, 2, whichever one you want, puts it in there, press enter, puts it in there. If it's neither one of these, then all you do is your cursor comes here, you put the word in that you want, then it's in again. So maybe you did stroke it correctly, and maybe it was just one letter off from something else that you stroked, but it was a different form of, instead of Parkinsonian, it was Parkinsonians. I don't know. And you just added the S to Parkinsonians, so you just added the S on the last stroke, but you wanted to make it plural. It didn't know exactly what you were doing. You put it in your dictionary, now it's going to know. Okay?
Questions using intelligent phonetics. No need to type or press the Alt key or scroll or use the mouse. Glance at the list, press 1. Then either press enter or place this in any dictionary.
Also, guys, when you put it in here, if you think that say you typed it in there, you don't know if it's right or not, do spell check right here. It'll tell you. It'll bring up, different options of what it thought that you were trying to stroke if it wasn't correct. Okay?
Dictionary I need. Total Eclipse understands it's easy to drag or drop keys when you're writing complicated steno like vancomycin. A glance at the list, the right choice jumps out at me. Choice 1. I won't put this in a dictionary, but I'll just apply it to the rest of the job. So your steno doesn't have to be perfect to take advantage of global magic. This time I dragged in the number bar. Total Eclipse understands. Choice 1 and enter.
You see what it was doing there? If you have a lot of numbers together with a letter, even if it's the numbers sometimes, it'll think, that's a lot of numbers together. Did you really mean 15078? Maybe it was a stroke for something. Maybe it's a brief for something. It'll give you that option in your Global Magic. Okay? It's pretty neat. I mean, so the more you start using it, the more it's going to know how you write. So it's going to start giving you more options of what it thinks that you're trying to do. Maybe you did mean the letters. Maybe you did mean 150U78. Okay, that's what you stroked. That's what it's going to put out there. It's going to put it out there because that's what you stroked. So that's fine. But that's also my brief for assume. So it's going to give you the option over here, hopefully in the global keys, in the global magic keys of, did you mean assume? Because that, without the numbers, is your brief for assume. Okay?
Total Eclipse understands steno stacking. Choice 1, the suffix s followed by you have.
Do you all understand what it's doing right here? The machine can only keep up so much. We're actually faster than the machine sometimes can react. So sometimes, you're stroking something, this hand's coming up a little bit before this one, you're already stroking the next one and it's not completely up and it stacks something else. So that's what it's showing you right here, is that I assume there are many cities, because you put the S, you have worked in before. And your brief for you have is VU. Not mine, it's mine is you have. But maybe you were going so fast that you put 3 strokes together. Maybe you don't have a brief for you have or have you. So it drug in the S on cities, you, and then have. 3 different strokes. All you have to do is define it. That's how you define it. You don't have to put in there, this is the way you define it right here, guys. When you're adding where it's going to be an S at the end, that's how you do it. You don't have to put ES, you don't have to put IES. It already knows to correct it, and it knows how to correct it. So here, and you're gonna see, be sure that you put the brackets. The caret here shows that it was a prefix. I mean, it's a suffix, not a prefix. The prefix is going to be S with a caret in the front. That's not what that is here. With the caret, then the S shows that it's a suffix. If you don't have these brackets, it's not going to know what to do. So if you just put caret S, you have, I don't even know what it'll bring up, but it's not going to know what to do. It doesn't know that it's a suffix without these brackets. Okay?
Yes.
I think we've gone through this before on how to, have we gone through dictionaries? Have we gone through that?
I think so.
No.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to that too. And I'm going to show you how, put in prefixes and suffixes, but this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You have to put, so like pre, re, all of those are prefixes. So it would be re with the caret in the back as a prefix. As a suffix, it's going to go caret, bracket, caret, S, bracket, 0 space, you have. Because if you put the space, then you have, then you're going to have 2 spaces on there. Because that's what you're telling it to do. This bracket is telling it there's a space in between there, then it's you have. Okay?
We'll see it applied.
See how it did it? It already knew. All they did was the bracket, caret S, it knew to drop the Y, add the IES. See? The software does it for you guys. It's a really great software, and you don't have to overthink things. It does it for you. Overthinking it really messes it up. So they try to keep it simple. They already know how to do it.
With intelligent spelling adjustments. How many times do you retype text as you're defining different ways of writing new names?
Here what they're doing is they briefed Tetra Technologies. If you're taking a depot of someone who works for Tetra Technologies, they're probably going to say it more than once. You don't want to stroke that out every time, guys. You don't. So what you want to do is work smarter, not harder. Okay? So you always want to think of briefs for things that you think that you're going to hear quite a bit in a depot. If they've already said it a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, more than likely they're going to say it again. Especially if it's Mr. Niedzenheimer. More than likely his name's going to come up more than once. So you don't want to have to stroke that out every time. So, you always want to think of briefs, simpler ways of getting through the depot, and trying to keep it simple. Does that make sense? So you don't want to think of G, all the vowels, J over here. That's a lot of strokes. It's still good. I mean, if you're talking about something ridiculous, but it's something that you can do with just a few letters, guys. You don't want to have to use 12 letters, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with your vowels. So if you're using the long I with the G and the J on this side, y'all see what I'm saying? Am I making sense? I got this deer in the headlight. Look like I'm got 9 heads over here, but keep it simple. Keep it simple, okay? And what they're doing here is, and they're going to tell you in just a bit, you don't have to stroke it correctly every time, because what they did right here was they drug in the period on Tetra Technologies. Well, you know what? You've already put it in correct. 99 times out of 100, Global Magic's going to say, you know what? That's pretty close to what you stroked the last time, but it looks like you drug in a period. Is this what you meant? Tetra Technologies, period.
Names or terms in a job. Here I have a job dictionary entry for Tetra Technologies. The next time I wrote it, it's stacked with the period. No problem. Total Eclipse understands steno stacking.
That's what it did right there. So it's going to give you that option of, did you mean Tetra Technologies, brackets, period? If it is, then you just press number 2 and it puts it in there. If you meant something totally different, maybe they said Tetra testimonial. I don't know. But you knew that Tetra was TET, and you knew that it's going to be a brief. So you do TET, TEMT for Tetra testimonial. I don't know. Whatever. But it's just a little bit different. But you knew that the TET was Tetra already, but you just knew that it's going to be a little bit different. And maybe they're going to be talking about, you know, both things. Tetra Technologies and Tetra testimonials. So you just stroked it a little bit different. You can go in there and redefine it, that every time it's TET, TEMT, or TE period, that this is what I meant. Or it's going to give you the option of, last time you stroked it, it was Tetra Technologies. This time you drug in the period. Is that what you meant? So it's going to give you, you know, those options. Make sense?
Yes.
Choice 2, and it automatically offers to place this capitalized text in the job dictionary. Enter. Most of the time you'll probably find that the suggestion you need is at the top of the list. But if Eclipse has not guessed properly, just start typing. No additional steps are needed to make the glance list disappear. A quick...
Did you see what it was doing right there?
you need is at the...
What he was trying to stroke here was forgive me. He drug in the P, no big deal. But they're going to give you, it's going to say, you know what? Some of the things that you've stroked in is men. Mine wouldn't be real far from member because mine is MEB for member. So, you know, maybe I've already put it in my dictionary. It knows it in my dictionary. So this is probably going to be one of the suggestions it gives me. Did you mean member? You accidentally push P, you know. So it just gives you the different options there of what it thinks you were doing. Was it me, you know, had he, you know, it starts guessing what it thinks that you were doing. Okay?
What does the N before and after the me mean? 1 and 2?
Honestly, I don't know. I've never used it. It can't mean. Maybe that it was a noun. I don't know. I don't know. I've never used that. I've used it with the number stuff, and they'll change it to numbers, or if you're going to do it with numbers, you know, it knows that, you know, if you put the brackets with the pound sign, you know, it knows that the thing before it, the thing after it is usually going to be a number, and the thing before it usually constitutes being with it. So if they're talking about table 12, it knows to capitalize table because it's a certain table, so it's table 12. Does that make sense?
The top of the list. But if Eclipse has not guessed properly, just start typing. No additional steps are needed to make the glance list disappear. A quick note, a little tweaking of your phonetics table.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Y'all need a break, or y'all okay?
You need a quick break.
Yeah.